Okay, let's go.
Are you ready for story time, little girl?
Can we turn this down a smidgenes? Or just completely off? Oh, she heard the rapper. She heard Daddy's protein bar rapper. Hey, you abandoned us, little girl. Oh, come on. Ooh.
Okay, lay down.
Here we go. Here's my shirt. Here's my shirt. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness, little girl. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Hi. Hi, Alistair. You want to get up here, too? Come on. Come on. Oh, my goodness. Come on. Stop being a bully. Let your brother up. Athena. Athena. Athena, lay down. Good girl. Now stay. Alistair, come over here. Come over. No, you stay there. Alistair, come on. Come on. I'm holding her. You want? Okay. All right. Up, up. There we go. Guys, it's supposed to be a calm environment. Okay, I guess I will sit here in between the dogs and the child. Okay, tonight we are going to read Yertle the Turtle and Other Stories, The Little Red Caboose, and Good Good Father. So, good sir, which of these, since I still burp up dinner, which of these would you like to read? Little Red Caboose? Okay. Good choice. All right. This is one Miss Frank got you. Yeah. This is a nice one. Little Red Caboose. What are you doing back there? I'm just eating your leg. Okay. Okay. You know, what if I sit on the floor? Although you might get off the bed. I don't know. That's fine. The Little Red Caboose always came last. First came the big black engine, puffing and chuffing. Then came the boxcars. Then the oil cars. Then the coal cars. Then the flat cars. Sometimes they were switched around in different ways. But the Little Red Caboose always came last. Boys and girls waved at the big black engine. They listened to the boxcars and the oil cars and the coal cars and the flat cars go clickety-clack. But by the time the Little Red Caboose came along, the boys and girls were turning away because the Little Red Caboose always came last. Oh, smoke, said the Little Red Caboose. I wish I were a flat car or a coal car or an oil car or a box car, so the boys and girls would wave at me. How I wish I were a big black engine puffing and chuffing way up at the front of the train. But I'm just a little old red caboose. Nobody cares for me. One day the train started up a mountain. Up went the big black engine. Up went the box cars. Up went the oil cars. Up went the coal cars. Up went the flat cars. Up went the Little Red Caboose. Hang on tight, little caboose, said the flat car. This is a long, tall mountain, and you are the last car on the train. Don't I know it, sighed the Little Red Caboose. Poor me. The train went slower and slower and slower. Soon it was hardly moving. It looked as if the train could not get up the mountain. Look out, little caboose, called the flat car. The train is starting to slip back down this long, tall mountain. Not if I can help it, said the Little Red Caboose. And he slammed on his brakes. He held tight to the tracks. And he kept that train from sliding down the mountain. Then, bump, The little red caboose felt something pushing him from behind. It was two big black engines. They pushed the train up to the top of the mountain. We couldn't have done it, said the big black engines, if it had not been for the little red caboose. Everyone cheered, and the little red caboose nearly burst with pride. Now, children wave at the big black engine and at all of the cars. But they saved their biggest wave for the little red caboose, because the little red caboose saved the train. Oh, two large precious. There's just all kinds of precious. Can you see behind me? No, because I'm a big old booty. Let's see if I get up real quick. Look at the precious. It's just precious. You're precious. You're precious. Good dogs. Good doggies. Yeah, good dogs. He's my good boy. Yes. Good old man. Okay. Hold that for me, would you, Alistair? Good boy. Okay. Next. Dolly. Which would you like? Good father? Okay. Good choice. A colorful kite soared in the sky, and then whoosh, it caught on an oak tree branch. Don't worry, I can help, Tucker called, tugging the kite this way and that. Tucker was a little bear. Helping others made him happy, and his friends needed lots of help. Some bears were always fighting. Some bears were sick. Some bears couldn't read. Some bears were hungry. And some bears were sad. Tucker didn't know how to help his friends. I could ask the king for help, Tucker cried. Maybe, just maybe, if I give him the perfect gift, he will help us. So off Tucker went on a journey to see the good king who lived in the castle where the door was always open. It wasn't long before a group of big, strong raccoons blocked Tucker's path. Stop, one raccoon ordered. What do you want? I want to take the king the perfect gift, but I don't know what to choose, Tucker explained. The king is a good warrior, the raccoon said. Why don't you give him the shield? The king will keep you safe, cheered the other raccoons. Down the road, an owl swooped down in front of Tucker. Hoot, hoot, the owl called out. What would you like to learn? I'm trying to figure out the perfect gift to take to the king, Tucker replied. The king teaches from his wise book, the owl told him. I am certain the king would be pleased if you gave him something to read. As Tucker walked away, the owl hooted, Go see the king. He is a good teacher. As he walked, Tucker spotted foxes wearing long white jackets. How are you feeling? Asked a concerned fox. I feel fine. Some of the bears in my town are sick, Tucker replied. I'm on my way to the king to ask for his help. Here, take these bandages as a gift, the fox said. The king is a good doctor. More confused than ever, Tucker sat to rest. Are you here for a snack? A squirrel asked. Actually, I'm trying to find the perfect gift for the king, Tucker explained, looking around. Wow, you have so many yummy-looking fruits and vegetables. Why don't you take these seeds to the king? The squirrel suggested. The king is a good farmer. He will help you grow food. Far away, Tucker heard music and singing and laughter. He followed the sound until he spotted some happy turtles. Jump on in, now's your chance. This turtle town just loves to dance, a turtle sang. We used to be sad, but now everything is a celebration because of the king. What kind of gift do you think he would like? Tucker asked. Give the king this violin, the turtle said. He's a good musician. The king will bring you joy. 22. All the animals Tucker had met had told him different stories about the king and what the perfect gift would be. But Tucker still didn't know what to give him. He looked up to the castle at the top of the tall hill. as it always was. The door was quite open. Tucker tiptoed toward the open door. Tucker! The king ran toward him with a huge smile. I'm so glad you're here. It looks like you need my help. My friends are in trouble, and I thought if I brought you the perfect gift, you would help us, Tucker explained shyly. You brought the perfect gift, the king said with great laugh. Now let's go help your friends. Tucker wasn't sure which gift was the perfect one. Even so, he hurried off with the king. On their journey back to the little bear's town, Tucker asked question after question. Are you a warrior? Yes, the king answered. Are you a teacher? Yes, the king repeated. Are you a doctor? Are you a farmer? Are you a musician? Yes, yes, and yes, the king patiently replied. But how can you be all of these things? The little bear asked. The king smiled. I am all of these things because I am a good father. Tucker didn't understand. Soon the king and the little bear reached Tucker's town. When the bears saw the king, one by one they bowed down. The king walked through the town and gave help to everyone who needed it. Most of all, the king, the good father, loved them. 42. Tucker said to the king, Now I see. You are not only a good father, you are a good father. A good father protects us. A good father teaches us. A good father makes us well. A good father gives us what we need. A good father fills life with music and laughter. And most of all, a good father loves us. Dear king, I have one more question. Which gift was the perfect gift? Tucker asked. You are the perfect gift, the king told the little bear. You came to me when you needed help. You trusted me. You bring me great joy, and I love you with all my heart, the same way I love all my children. Tucker curled up with sleepy eyes and a full heart. Listen, you really are a good father. Oh, and they're hugging. It's just the sweetest thing. Okay. And you hold that one for me too? Good stuff, guys. Good dogs. Got your dogs. Yeah. Yertle the Turtle and other stories. Yertle the Turtle. On the faraway island of Solemn Sond, Yertle the Turtle was king of the pond. A nice little pond. It was clean. It was neat. The water was warm. There was plenty to eat. The turtles had everything turtles might need. And they were all happy. Quite happy indeed. They were until Yertle, the king of them all, decided the kingdom he ruled was too small. I am ruler, said Yertle, of all that I see. But I don't see enough. That's the trouble with me. Hi. With a stone for a throne, I look down on my pond, but I cannot look down on the places beyond. This throne that I sit on is too low down. It ought to be higher, he said with frown. If I could say high, how much greater I'd be. What a king I'd be, ruler of all I could see. So Yertle, the Turtle King, lifted his hand, and Yertle, the Turtle King, gave a command. He ordered 9 turtles to swim to his throne, and using these turtles, he built a new throne. He made each turtle stand on one another's back, and he piled them all up in a 9-turtle stack. And then Yertle climbed up. He sat down on the pile. What a wonderful view! He could see most a mile. Here at Cafe Rio, we're excited. All mine, Yertle cried, oh, the things I now rule. I'm king of a cow, and I'm king of a mule. I'm king of a house, and what's more beyond that? I'm king of a blueberry bush and a cat. I'm Yertle the Turtle, oh, marvelous me, for I am the ruler of all that I see. And all through that morning, he sat there up high, saying over and over, the great king am I, until long about noon. Then he heard a faint sigh. What's that? Snapped the king, and he looked down the stack. And he saw at the bottom a turtle named Mac, just a part of his throne. And this plain little turtle looked up, and he said, Beg your pardon, King Yertle. I have pains in my back and my shoulders and knees. How long must we stand here, your majesty, please? Silence, the king of the turtles barked back. I'm king and you're only a turtle named Mac. You stay in your place while I sit here and rule. I'm king of a cow and I'm king of a mule. I'm king of a house and a bush and a cat. Right, but that isn't all. I'll do better than that. My throne shall be higher, his royal voice thundered. So pile up more turtles. I want about 200. Turtles, more turtles, he bellowed and brayed. And the turtles way down in the pond were afraid. They trembled, they shook, but they came, they obeyed. From all over the pond, they came swimming by dozens, whole families of turtles, with uncles and cousins. And all of them stepped on the head of Cormac. One after another, they climbed up the stack. Then, Yertle the turtle was perched up so high he could see 40 miles from his throne in the sky. Hooray! Shouted Yertle. I'm the king of the trees. I'm the king of the birds. I'm king of the bees. I'm king of the butterflies, king of the air. Ah, me, what a throne, what a wonderful chair. I'm Yertle the turtle, oh marvelous me. I am the ruler of all that I see. Then again, from below, in the great heavy stack, came a groan from the plain little turtle named Mac. Your Majesty, please. I don't like to complain, but down here below, we're feeling great pain. I know up on top you're seeing great sights, but down at the bottom, we too should have rights. We turtles can't stand it. Our shells will all crack. Besides, we need food. We are starving, groaned Mac. You hush up your mouth, howled the mighty King Yertle. You've no right to talk to the world-sized turtle. I rule from the clouds, over land, over sea. There's nothing, no nothing that's higher than me. But while he was shouting, he saw with surprise that the moon of the evening was starting to rise. Up over his head in the darkening skies. What's that? Snorted Yertle. Say, what is that thing that dares to be higher than Yertle the king? I shall not allow it. I'll go higher still. I'll build my throne higher. I can and I will. I'll call some more turtles. I'll stack them to heaven. I need about 5,607. But as Yertle the turtle lifted his hand and started to order and give the command, that plain little turtle below in the stack, the plain little turtle whose name was just Mac, decided he'd taken enough, and he had. And that plain little lad got a little bit mad, and that plain little Mac did a plain little thing. He burped, and his burp shook the throne of the king. And Yertle the turtle, the king of the trees, the king of the air and the birds and the bees, the king of the house and a cow and a mule, well, that was the end of the Turtle King's rule. For Yertle, the king of all Salamasong, fell off his high throne and fell plunk in the pond. And today the great Yertle, that marvelous he, is king of the mud, that is all he can see. And the turtles, of course, all the turtles are free, as turtles and maybe all creatures should be. Gertrude McFuzz. There once was a girl bird named Gertrude McFuzz, and she had the smallest plain tail ever was. One droopy droop feather, that's all that she had. Ooh, that one feather made Gertrude so sad. For there was another young bird that she knew, a fancy young birdie named Lolly-Loo. And instead of one feather behind, she had two. Poor Gertrude, whenever she happened to spy Miss Lolly-Loo flying by in the sky, she got very jealous. She frowned and she pouted. Then one day she got awfully mad and she shouted, "This just isn't fair. I have one, she has two. I must have a tail just like Lolly-Loo." So she flew to her uncle, a doctor named Dave, whose office was high in a tree by the lake. And she cried, "Uncle Doctor, oh please, do you know of some kind of a pill that will make my tail grow?" "Tut, tut," said the doctor. "Such talk, how absurd. Your tail is just right for your kind of a bird." Then Gertrude had tantrums. She raised such a din. And finally her uncle, the doctor, gave in. And he told her just where she could find such a pill, on a pillberry vine on the top of the hill. "Oh, thank you," chirped Gertrude McFuzz, and she flew right straight to the hill where the pillberry grew. Yes, there was the vine, and as soon as she saw it, she plucked off a berry. She started to gnaw it. It tasted just awful, almost made her sick. She wanted that tail, so she swallowed it quick. Then she felt something happen, like a small twitch, as if she'd been tapped down behind by a switch. And Gertrude looked round, and she cheered. It was true. 2 feathers, exactly like Lala Lee Loo. Then she got an idea. "Now I know what I'll do. I'll grow a tail better than Lala Lee Loo. These pills that grow feathers are working just fine." So she nibbled another one off of the vine. She felt a new twitch, and then Gertrude yelled, "Whee! Miss Lala only has just 2. I have 3. She'll fall right down flat on her face. Sure enough, I'll show her who's pretty. I certainly will. Well, I'll make my tail even prettier still." She snatched at those berries that grew on that vine. She gobbled down 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And she didn't stop eating young Gertrude McFuzz till she'd eaten 3 dozen. That's all that there was. And the feathers popped out with a zang, with a zing. They blossomed like flowers that bloom in the spring. Oh, fit for a queen, a sight to behold. They sparkled like diamonds and gumdrops and gold, like silk, like spaghetti. What? You know, a spaghetti tends to sparkle. Like satin, like lace. They burst out like rockets all over the place. They waved in the air and they swished in the breeze. And some were as long as the branches of trees. And still they kept growing. They popped and they popped until long about sundown, when finally they stopped. "And now," giggled Gertrude, "the next thing to do is to fly right straight home and show Lala Lee. And when Lala sees these, her face will go red, and she'll let out a spin and she'll fall right down dead." And she spread out her wings to take off to the ground. But with all of those feathers, she weighed 90 pounds. She yanked and she pulled and she let out a squawk. But that bird couldn't fly, couldn't run, couldn't walk. And all through that night, she was stuck on that hill. And Gertrude McFuzz might be stuck up there still. If her good Uncle Dave hadn't heard the girl yelp, he rushed to her rescue and brought along help. To lift Gertrude up almost broke all their beaks, and to fly her back home, it took almost 2 weeks. And then it took almost another week more to pull out those feathers. Gertrude was sore. And finally, when all of the pulling was done, Gertrude behind her again had just one. That one little feather she had as a starter, but now that's enough, because now she is smarter. The big brag. The rabbit felt mighty important that day on top of the hill in the sun where he lay. He felt so important up there on that hill that he started bragging, as animals will, and he boasted out loud as he threw out his chest. "Of all of the beasts in the world, I am the best. On land and on sea, even up in the sky, no animal lives who's better than I." "What's that?" growled a voice that was terribly gruff. "No wonder you say such ridiculous stuff." The rabbit looked down and he saw a big bear. "I am the best of the beasts," said the bear. "And so there." "You're not," snapped the rabbit. "I'm better than you." "Pooh!" The rabbit snorted. "Again I say pooh. You talk mighty big, Mr. Rabbit, that's true. But how can you prove it? Just what can you do?" Thought the rabbit. "What can I do?" He thought and he thought. Then he finally said, "Mr. Bear, do you see these 2 ears above my head? My ears are so keen and so sharp and so fine. No ears in the world can be further than mine. Humph, the bear grunted. He looked at each ear. You say they are good, said the bear with a sneer. But how do I know just how far they can hear? I'll prove, said the rabbit. My ears are the best. You sit there and watch me. I'll prove it by test. Then he stiffened his ears till they both stood up high and pointed. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Then he stiffened his ears till they both stood up high and pointed straight up at the blue of the sky. He stretched his ears open as wide as he could. Shh, I'm listening, he said as he stood. He listened so hard he started to sweat, and the fur on his ears and his forehead got wet. For 7 long minutes he stood, and then he stirred, and he said to the bear, do you know what I heard? Do you see that far mountain? It's 90 miles off. There's a fly on that mountain, and then I just heard him cough. Now the cough of a fly, sir, is quite hard to hear when he's 90 miles off, but I heard it quite clear. So you see, bragged the rabbit, it's perfectly true that my ears are the best, so I'm better than you. The bear for a moment just sulked as he sat, for he knew that his ears couldn't hear things like that. This rabbit, he thought, made a fool out of me. Now I've got to prove that I'm better than he. So he said to the rabbit, you hear pretty well. You can hear 90 miles, but how far can you smell? This nose on my face is the finest that grows. My nose can smell anything both far and near. With my nose, I can smell twice as far as you hear. You can't, snapped the rabbit. I can, growled the bear. And he stuck his big nose way up high in the air. He wiggled that nose, and he sniffed and he snuffed. He waggled that nose, and he whiffed and he whuffed. For more than 10 minutes, he snaffed and he snuffed. Then he said to the rabbit, I've smelled far enough. All right, said the rabbit. Come on now and tell exactly how far is the smell that you smell. Oh, I'm smelling a very far smell, said the bear. Away past that fly on that mountain up there. I'm smelling past many great mountains beyond 600 miles more to the edge of the pond. And way out there by the pond you can't see. It's a very small farm, and on that farm is a tree. And on that tree is a branch. On the branch is a nest. A very small nest where 2 little eggs rest. 2 hummingbird eggs, only ½ inch long. But my nose, said the bear, is so wonderfully strong. My nose is so good that I smell it without fail. But the egg on the left is a little bit stale. And that is a thing that no rabbit can do. So you see, the bear boasted, I'm better than you. My smell is so keen that it just can't be beat. What's that? Called a voice from way down by his feet. The bear and the rabbit looked down at the sound, and they saw a worm crawling out of the ground. Now, boys, said the worm, you've been bragging a lot. You both think you're great, but I think you are not. You're not half as good as a fellow like me. You hear and you smell, but how far can you see? Now, I'm here to prove that you big boasting guys, that your nose and your ears aren't as good as my eyes. And the little old worm cocked his head to one side, and he opened his eyes, and opened them wide. And they looked far away with a strange sort of stare, as if they were burning 2 holes in the air. The eyes of that worm almost popped up from his head. He stared half an hour till his eyelids got red. That's enough, growled the bear. Tell the rabbit and me. How far did you look, and what did you see? Well, boys, the worm answered, that look that I took was a look that looked farther than you'll ever look. For I can see farther than anyone can. There's no one on earth who has eyesight that's finer. I looked past Japan, then I looked across China. I looked across Egypt, then took a quick glance across the 2 countries of Holland and France. Then I looked across England and also Brazil. But I didn't stop there. I looked much farther still. And I kept right on looking and looking until I looked round the world and right back to this hill. And I saw on this hill, since my eyesight's so keen, the two biggest fools that have ever been seen. And the fools that I saw were none other than you, who seemed to have nothing else better to do than sit here and argue who's better than who. Then the little old worm gave his head a small jerk, and he dived in his hole and went back to his work. The end. All right. Okay, I think it's bedtime, especially since I'm the one yawning. You woke up at 2 this afternoon, so I know you're not tired, but I am. Oof. All right, guys. So we will see you all tomorrow, and hopefully he'll be a little bit tired if I can muster up the courage to fight him to wake up a little bit earlier. All right. Good night, everyone. Sleep well.